All right. So a long time ago, a house was really just a house. It was just some fucking box you lived in. It was a box for you to, just eat, sleep, shit, and shower. And that was it. You just lived there your whole life because, I don't know, the government gave it to you or something. I don't fucking know. And you raised your family, you either passed on the land or whatever, and that's about it. Slowly and surely, it became some sort of weird asset class for some reason. And then now people see it as like a full on like investment. It's like I'm gonna use this for my retirement. I'm gonna use this for blah blah blah. Like, no, stop. That's not what this shit's for. It's a fucking house. It's a box. But for a house to be a good investment, the price has to go up. And unfortunately, there's a limit to how far up it can go before it becomes completely irrational to buy the house. So people who want affordable housing aren't going to get it because the price just keeps going up and up and up. And if you don't buy it, you're going to be left out of all that potential upside. And instead of prioritizing, making housing cheaper, we're prioritizing to make it more expensive. And for the price to keep going up, you need to keep, the amount of housing down. And to do that, you need to go to your local, whatever, city council or county council and tell them, look, we don't want people to buy more houses. We want people to buy our houses at a big fat premium. And then they realized, well, that's kind of mean to say directly. So why don't we just make a bunch of fucking rules? Why don't we just make it impossible to just build new housing? Just make it impossible to build mass housing like apartment complexes and all these other types of housing, for just normal people to live in, to just even save up to get a house. Now, fuck them. They need to live in this big ass house and they can't ever escape it. And then the people who do already have a house, they're gonna look at the people who are renting and be like, "Huh, what do you guys are paying all the homeowners fucking loan? Fuck you, poor ass motherfucker." The regular path for the American dream is just like, you go to school, you get a job, you make some money, you buy a car, get your wife, get a house, get some pets or something, kids. That's just the regular base American dream, and I feel like that's achievable for most people. But unfortunately, when you do achieve it, you will probably be in massive amounts of debt. A lot of these older people, they bought their house for fucking nothing. They bought it for no fucking money. It wasn't hard to, buy these houses. Sure, the interest rates are high, but compared to how much they cost now, just because we have lower interest rates doesn't mean that these houses aren't, just a pain in the ass to buy anyway. And then most people they think, oh, I can buy a house, and then I can rent out. I can make two units and rent out the other one, and then play this real estate mogul type person. Like, no, you're not that guy. Most people are not gonna fucking. They can't survive that kind of fucking life. You guys are fucking stupid if you guys think that way. Just just stay your little goyim selves and just realize that you're just not meant for this kind of line of work unless you actually go out and study real estate and know the rules, because there's a lot of rules or else you're going to get sued, and we're one lawsuit away from just complete annihilation of your fucking everything. See, and people have stopped giving a shit. They don't care about starting any real empire type business stuff anymore. They just want to fucking order DoorDash and whine about other bullshit. No one cares anymore. For a long time, immigrants were the ones who came here and then started all these cool businesses and all this and stuff. But even they're starting to be like that. And now that people are getting kicked out, it's like, well, who's gonna be left to even build all this cool shit? Like, nobody. Nobody's gonna be left to build anything. And then another problem is that all these people who have already bought houses, they expect to sell the house at some point to, to liquidate and retire. But unfortunately, who the fuck are they going to sell the house to? Any generation below them can't buy a house. So you have all these houses just kind of stuck in limbo, and you can't do anything with them. They're just going to be stuck there. And then once those old people realize they can't sell them, they're going to have to lower the price and then continuing to lower the price until the generations before them can actually buy it. And unfortunately, it's going to have to come at a hefty cost to them. And then right now, there's some new laws passing to build more housing and stuff, but it's not going to be enough. It's never going to be enough because people don't want to fucking move. They don't want to get their ass out of bed and actually do something. And it seems like right now that whole bubble is collapsing. Um, it will just collapse and collapse. And unfortunately, it seems like interest rates will go up before they go down. If Trump has his way and, fucking kills Jerome, then yeah, they might go down and then the bubble will keep going up? Question mark. No one has money to buy a house anymore. No one has money at all, period. It's been hell, but who the fuck's gonna buy these houses? Just like most of them are garbage anyway. And then what's really most valuable is the community around the house. That's really the most valuable thing. If you have a fucking house in the ghetto, your shit's worth like, at least fucking 60% less than what you think it's worth. If you have a house in fucking rich ass neighborhood, then okay, maybe your house is probably worth as much as you think it is. But that doesn't mean someone is going to be able to purchase that house. So you still might need to drop the price by like at least 10, 15% before someone can say, "Oh yeah, I can finally buy this house," or interest rates have to lower, or something has to happen. When interest rates rise, the prices drop. When interest rates drop, prices rise. Or in the case of a few years ago, when interest rates drop, prices rise, and then they just keep rising. And then when interest rates go back up, the prices keep on rising? Question mark. Which is not sustainable. Obviously, that means that market's fucking bullshit, and it's gonna come back. It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down. I can't buy a house, but I don't know anyone who can buy a house. Okay, I might know some people can buy a house, but they're not willing to touch real estate at this point. You know, houses in the United States kind of fucking suck. You just gotta weather it out, I guess. Weather this out. Big buying opportunity for Gen Z in the next 5, 10 years. Um, we're gonna have pretty decent housing prices. Maybe if maybe we don't have complete fucking Armageddon by the time we're able to buy a house, then it's gonna be pretty awesome. All the boomers are gonna be dead, and all these houses are gonna go for sale. It's gonna be freaking awesome. All these assets are gonna be everywhere, but at the same time, well, who were the ones really controlling assets? So, it was the Jews. So what are you gonna do with all these assets if they're inherently worthless now? Because the foundation that was keeping them valuable is now gone. So it's probably going to be this new like emergence of a better free market type thing. Who knows? Maybe America will go back to being more classical, where everything was just a little bit better, but and more free because no one really gave a shit in a different type of way. But now it seems like the world's just kind of gone to shit. Where now we've got war, we got all this shit. House prices are gonna go up because of costs, because of fucking building costs and all this stuff. Like, what do you even do at this point? It's gonna come down. Everything will come down at some point, but it's gonna be such a fucking pain in the ass for the next few years. So just kind of hold on tight, restructure yourself. If you believe that you can get rid of all the debt you have, you should really try to do that. You know, don't just try as best you can. Sell your fucking car, sell your fucking house. Just don't have any debt. Like, for God's sake, Try to do your own research, make a plan, and try to really build something instead. Try to build a company, and not some like AI bullshit startup. I'm talking about like real shit, where you actually produce like physical products on an assembly line or something, or fucking sell honey or some shit. I don't really know. Just do something, fuck you.